Greetings, salutations, happy Wednesday, March the 11th, 2026. A mere 9 days away from the beginning of spring. And we're going to be in the mid-70s today, I think, in New York City. So that'll be fantastic. And I'm headed to Times Square in a few minutes, where I will be doing some recording with a client. So that's always exciting. You know, I get that little hint of nervousness, but mostly joy and excitement for what I'm going to do, because interviewing someone and bringing out their best is a dance. It is a form of artistic expression. It requires EQ, IQ, trust building, skills, curiosity, all the things that I care about. And it puts me in a position of needing to do it. And it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to do it. So I'm just really grateful to have that today. I'm really hanging on to that as my diamond for the day. The rest is gravy. Diamonds and gravy. That doesn't mix very well, does it? Nah, I'll have to come up with something better. But first, before we even continue, of course, you need the trivia that you didn't know you couldn't live without. And with that, I will tell you that on this day in 1892, the first public game of baseball was played in Springfield, Massachusetts. I have to say, one of the things about moving out to the Northeast was the baseball culture here. Of course, this is where it started in this region. And being from the West Coast, and particularly the Pacific Northwest, that didn't really have, Seattle had the teams, but Oregon was kind of this no man's land for professional sports other than basketball. And so if you weren't into basketball particularly, you know, you kind of had to pick the 49ers, or if you wanted to be rebellious, you picked the Raiders, or if you want to be loyal to the region, you went with the Seahawks, that sort of thing. And I admit, in the last Super Bowl, I was rooting for the Seahawks for no other reason other than they're from the Pacific Northwest. But you come out here and the baseball, I've been stuck in rooms with people who know everything about baseball, all the stats, and especially the Boston, New York Yankees, Boston Celtics rivalry is a real thing, and I'm coming to appreciate it more and more. I'm not probably going to dive into it too deeply, but I appreciate its significance culturally to many people. So, second trivia point that you can't live without today, but you didn't know it, is that Levi Strauss began selling bell-bottom jeans in 1969 on this day. So this was the day that the bell-bottom, gosh, were they cool then, really? I wasn't born then, so I don't know. I have a hard time. We have, the pants get bigger and they get smaller and whatever, but I just can't imagine those. It's kind of like some of the fashion in the 80s. Like, did we really think it was fashionable? Were the shoulder pads and everything really, truly fashionable? I don't know. Everyone looked like a football player. And the women all had big teased hair. It was hilarious. All right, enough 80s nostalgia, because I can remember that. 1969, the bell bottom, which lasted for a decade? Maybe, not quite. All right, what do we got today? We've got to make it quick because I got to get out of here. I got to finish my coffee. And I'm just really kind of amped up on connection. And one of the things is that when I set my mind recently to business development, like really properly set my mind to it, it's amazing. There were a couple things I needed to clear up in terms of mindset. But directionally, I realized, okay, we need to prioritize this even more. I made a plan, and then I realized I had a roadblock mentally, and I pushed through that. And I have just been going at such high velocity, meeting all these incredible people, I have a new CEO from another fascinating company who responded to my question, my inquiry, and he wants to learn more about what I'd like to invite him on the show, honestly. He's a great guy. I had a great conversation with a startup, one of the heads of a startup yesterday. And not only was it very productive, but we laughed a lot, just had a good time. And that's the energy that I've got with the business and with my life right now. And whatever challenges are there, what's nice is when you have enough going on, one thing doesn't shift the whole thing. And this is the trap that I've seen in the past with myself and others, is that if you get too hyper-focused on one potential client, the whale that's going to solve it all, or one client that's paying you, but you're like, well, as long as I can keep them, everything's fine. No. All these, you care about your clients, but on the other hand, the more activity you've got going on, the less any one particular situation makes or breaks your day, or your business for that matter. And so I'm really focused on having the right level of volume for where I'm at right now until we scale even bigger, and then we can take on more volume, but basically maxing out the volume of activity and diversification of clients. And I think that assuages so many other fears when there's always another opportunity, because then you really can trick your brain. And I say that in the most positive sense, trick your brain to believing that there's nothing to worry about at all, that you've already solved the problem amongst the current contacts that you've made, that the next thing's going to work out and that it'll be okay. Just keep marching forward. So with that sentiment, I hope it's helpful to you in whatever venture you're engaging in. Have a wonderful day. Spring is here, at least for some of us. I really am grateful that you listen. Be good to yourself and others, and we'll check back again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.